everybody. Welcome back to the Divergent Comics YouTube channel. I am Gary, joined today doing another part of the comic book creator interview series. Today I'm joined by a good friend. Him and I met recently through Kickstarter, and it's been, really kind of like an immediate friendship. So I've really enjoyed just being able to connect with him and kind of see where he's been going with his stories. So, uh, for those of you who may not have seen previously, but I also did a episode where I interviewed another creator who had a Kickstarter a few weeks ago. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out, go check that out. But today I am talking with the head of Apartment 6 Comics, my friend, my brother, Smiley. How are you doing
Hey, how
today?
y'all doing? How everybody doing? My name is Malcolm Smiley Cannon. Nice to meet everybody.
Welcome to the Divergent Comics YouTube channel. How you doing, man? What's going
I'm doing all right, man. I mean, I'm a little nervous. We
on?
spoke about this, but I'm letting everybody else know I'm a little nervous, but you got me here. I'm ready to do
Yeah,
this. So it's a good day. I was say I got a couple of things completed today, but this is my last thing for the day. So I'm ready
that's
for
that's always
it.
good to hear. When I first decided I was going to do this series, you were literally one of the top creators I wanted to definitely interview, just because I had followed your Kickstarter and I saw what you were doing, and I was like, okay, this looks pretty interesting. And I actually read the first book of the
hmm
series. It's a four-part series so far from what I was able to get, and I like the story. I like where it's going.
Appreciate it.
So I definitely wanted us to kind of talk about that a little bit later on into this episode. But
hmm Before you go on, I want to say I appreciate you for thinking of me when you had
oh, for sure,
you came up with this, bro. That means a lot to me.
for sure, for sure. My goal is to get people familiar with comic book creators who they may not know about, because all of us don't work for Marvel or DC or the
Yeah.
IDW. So if I can get someone to be like, you know what, I like Apartment 6 comics, that'll be cool. So
Nah, I feel you on that. We all gotta help each other grow in
that's
order for us
facts.
to get that attention that we're really looking for.
That is facts. So, one of the things that I really like to kind of get into when I'm learning about creators and stuff is really something that is really dear to me. And that's the
hmm
influence in regards to your story. So, when you're creating your comics, what has been your biggest influence?
Um, Speaking for myself, I think it's a numerous of things that influence me, like such as music. Music is one of my biggest influence. Like I
Okay.
can hear a song and I'll just get to typing something down. I'll be like, man, what is this idea that's coming to me? And I gotta
Right.
write it down while the song is on. But the next thing you know, I'm listening to that song all day long, like on
Yeah.
repeat, and just listening to it and typing. So music is definitely one of my biggest influence. Art, seeing art. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
honest with you, just to see these artists create different photos, like different pictures of characters or
Hmm.
scenarios, it excites me. So
Right.
my children is another influence.
Hmm.
It's just a few things in there. So, but music is number one. Music is number one out of all of them.
I like that you kind of brought up a couple of different ones.
hmm
I think the music part is kind of an interesting one, because
hmm
we're both writers, we both create, and I know for me, whenever I get in a zone, it's
hmm
like I have to have music in the background, and it has to be like if I'm working on a specific type of script, it has to be that
hmm
the music has to correlate so that it kind of flows, and you can then start to see the scenes kind of play out
Yeah,
in your head, and it really makes that whole process of creating that script much better. So, is that similar
I
to how it
definitely
works for
understand.
you?
It in some cases.
Okay.
That's all I'm about to say. That's interesting that I found someone that also uses music as an influence. But in some cases it works like that.
Okay.
In some cases it actually has nothing to do with what I'm writing.
Mm.
But for some odd reason, just listening to that song in the background
Hmm.
is keeping me in like this. I want to call it a music realm. And
Okay.
while I'm in this realm, I'm just writing down notes or whatever I'm doing. So it's both ways. It's both ways
Nice.
with me, man. Because I'm about to say I've been in a moment where I've heard like some gangster rap music, and I just want to write a nice little fighting scene to it. So
Right.
it's many things, but music is definitely the key. Music
Yeah.
definitely sparks a lot, though.
I love that. So I mean, I guess kind of like jumping into, you talked about gangster rap being one
Hmm.
one obvious one, but like when you're writing or when you're, let's just say, even just consuming content like watching movies, TV, or whatever, or reading comics, what type
Hmm.
of genres do you prefer to consume?
I want to say something before we get into that. I I only read indie comics. I don't read like
Nice.
Marvel and DC. I never grew up on those. I mean, I grew up on the cartoons, but I never
Right.
grew up on like reading comic books until I started creating them. And then
Okay.
I met other creators and I was interested in what they was doing.
I like that.
So, um, I don't have a genre choice when it comes to that. I'm open
Okay.
minded to different creators and what they have to offer. But if we talking about like movies and stuff like that,
Yeah.
horror is like the it's like the biggest genre ever to
Okay.
me. That thriller and suspense is my top three. I can't see anything else out. If you ask anybody that come to my house, they be like, "We really got to watch this right now." Serial killer stuff or some zombie stuff. Like, yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
into.
nice. Okay.
So other than that, action would probably be secondary. But like I said, I'll mainly watch horror, suspense, thriller type of things, or like crime as far as like Criminal Minds, and that's
Okay.
dealing with serial killers. So
Right.
it's all the same thing. So,
See,
um,
I like that. I'm glad
what
we're on the
about
same
yourself?
page because
Oh, you mess with it too?
I love me some Criminal Minds. I always watch Criminal
Okay,
Minds. Every year
okay.
I go through a binge of it. I'm not a huge fan of horror when it comes to like
No.
watching it, just because I
Mm,
find it to be pretty cliche most times.
yeah,
But I've recently started reading more like horror comics from different indie creators. I find it to be interesting.
yeah. Them horror comics is definitely decent.
Yeah. So quick question off the cuff. I didn't send this one to you because it just came to my mind. But give us your top three horror movies.
I would have to say World War Z
Okay,
right off the top. Like that's the top.
that's a good one.
Um, yeah, I'm a big zombie fan. Like
Okay.
everything dealing with zombie, I'm watching. So that means Night of the Living Dead.
Hmm.
I even watched Shaun of the Dead, even though it was comedy, it still had horror to me. So it had some like type of zombie thing going on.
Right.
What it was I always forget the name of it, but I had did my first comic book cover based off of it.
Ah,
It's a Stephen King movie. Oh man, with the cats.
Pet
It's not
Cemetery.
coming to me. No, 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 no.
No, no.
It'll come to me. When it comes to me, I just pop up and say like, "Oh, it's such and such."
All
But
right.
yeah. So World War Z, it would be that movie by Stephen King. There's so many horror movies. I would feel like I'm
There's a
cheating
lot of good
myself if I
ones.
name them. Like, uh, because you got all the slashes. I don't want to answer this question, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
I
mean,
don't
you
want to
gave
answer
us
this
like 15
question.
of them already, so it's good to
That's like
know.
asking me my favorite song. There's so many songs in the
Yeah,
world. Like,
that is
um,
that is fair.
but World War Z is definitely number one. That's
Okay.
guaranteed. That's guaranteed. So there's no other movie better than World War Z to me.
Uh,
Like every piece of the elements that they put into that movie was
yeah,
perfect. Like
that's a good movie.
so.
I can't deny it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've recently watched it, so I can see why it's at number one for you.
Word. What about yourself? What's your favorite genre that you like to dig in on? And what's your top movie for it?
So for me, movie genres, TV genres, I can watch pretty much all of them, except
Hmm.
for I don't really like rom coms, and I don't
Hmm.
really like horror, but I will watch any of it, just because I
Hmm.
like to consume the content.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a top three movie right now, number one is definitely going to be the Batman, just because I've seen that
Which
movie.
one?
The most recent one with Robert Pattinson.
Mm.
I love that movie so much.
Okay.
I'm a big Batman
Okay.
fan, so to me, and
I
plus I
thought you
love
was gonna
Matt
say
Reeves.
Dark Knight. I
Oh
thought you
no,
was gonna say
no.
Dark Knight.
I like
What?
Dark Knight, but it's not my favorite Batman movie.
Ah, you hurt me.
And the
You
sad
hurt
part
me.
about it is I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan because my second movie I'd probably put Inception on there. So I love Inception. Uh,
Man, you hurt me with that one, but go ahead.
and then my last one I have to throw kind of a monkey wrench in, and I have to put kind of two movies in, and it's going to be Lion King and Major Pain.
Oh,
Just
those was good.
because,
Those was good picks.
yeah,
Those was good picks. Lion King was the first movie I ever seen as a kid.
same, same.
Yeah,
It's
that
that
was a good
nostalgia,
one.
and then Major Pain is
Yeah,
honestly a
it don't
comfort
get no
movie for me.
funnier. Yeah, it don't get no funnier than that.
Right.
I grew up on that one too.
So,
Word.
um, as we talked about at the beginning, you wrote the book, the comic series, The Book of Dreams.
Hmm.
As I said, I've read the first book, and I
Hmm.
have the other three. I'm going to literally read them as soon as we get
No
done,
rush. No rush.
because that first book was just so interesting, and it left on a
Hmm.
cliffhanger, which I love stories that leave on a cliffhanger. But I want you to kind of just like tell us how this story, The Book of Dreams, came about.
um, See, now the story to that would be a very long story, so I'm gonna just start from the point of me meeting the artist.
Okay,
I'm about to say because
that's
it
fair.
goes way back to like 2012.
Oh man.
So, I comic writing has started back in 2017, I think, with Steve. But what influenced me to pursue the Book of Dreams,
Hmm.
because I had already had Freaks Come Out of the Night out before Book of Dreams.
Okay.
So when I met Oso,
Hmm.
his art is what made me want to pursue it.
His art is really good.
And yeah, I was looking at it. And I was like, I could see my characters being drawn in this guy's art.
Hmm.
And I hit him up, went through the process of reaching out to your artists and stuff like that. And that's what made me go forth with it. Besides that, I could only say like everybody always be like, "Yo, tell your life story, tell your life story," and I'm like, I find that to be corny, like to talk
Hmm.
about myself. So I figured a way to do it without really talking about me,
Mm.
taking elements from my life and putting it into a comic book. So that's the only thing I could say that influenced the Book of Dreams.
Okay.
The characters is my step siblings. They really they used to get me bad back in the day. Bullying. When I hear the word bullying, I'm like, man, that must be what I went through when I was a kid.
Yeah, that
Like,
that bullying is heavy in the like first 15, 20 pages of the book, and it really resonates. I was one that got bullied a lot when I was in school, so I
hmm,
really resonated with the character of Malachi, and he goes through a lot.
yeah,
Just from page one through the time it gets to the end of the book, it's just like he's always getting hit by somebody. He's always getting bullied. Man's literally was put through the ringer. Um,
yeah.
and I think that's probably one of the things that really drew me to the character and really drew me into the book was the fact
I
that
get that a lot.
the bullying was just really real. It was a
Hmm.
very emotional, resonated very, very well. So I really love that aspect of it. I want to talk about something else. Again, this is going to be off the cuff, so I apologize for jumping off topic.
Had me
But
studying for nothing.
right, but at the end of the book, you had a tribute,
Hmm.
and that really really touched me. Just reading that aspect of it and kind of seeing that
Word.
tribute. So, can you kind of talk about that tribute as much as you are comfortable with, at least?
All right, so again, Book of Dreams was written back in 2012. When I met Oso and we started to start like do the production of the book, I had lost my stepsister in the process.
Hmm.
Like her, something dealing with her and her boyfriend. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It was big. It was on the news and everything. Her boyfriend had murdered her in
Mm.
front of her child and then murdered himself. So that was on my mind a lot at the time while we was writing it. So I wound up changing the story. The
Mm.
story wasn't supposed to end the way it ended.
Hmm.
It's supposed to have ended with the wrestling guy. That's why on the original book you can see the guy. This is who it's supposed
Yeah,
to originally end it with.
yeah,
But when that happened, I wanted to, since she wasn't going to be able to be here to see my work, I wanted to tribute, like give that to her, that one
yeah.
book ended with her, all the attention mainly on her. So it was pretty rough. But this was my way because I didn't even make it to the funeral. But this was
Yeah.
my way of speaking to her. Like, I
Okay.
miss you. I want you to know that I was there, but I wasn't there. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what that part was for. It was for her.
Yeah, man. That's definitely like I said, a very powerful point. Very very powerful uh point in the book where it's just like I looked at it and it really resonated. It really hit. So definitely
Yeah,
sorry to hear
word.
about that whole situation. But
No, thank you.
this was, honestly, I think this ending probably is better than what you originally had, just because it really
It
hit.
did turn out better than what I originally had, honestly. I mean, even though what happened was a tragic, I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes those things do change our lives and make it a better thing for us sometimes.
Right.
So it did make the story a little better. Um, I don't know what else to say as far as that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But I
So
appreciate you sharing that because
yeah, yeah.
that can be heavy, having to share that type of,
Hmm.
that grief. But you put that in the book, and I think that's also part of the
Yeah.
reason why, this series, really is, as good as it is.
Hmm.
But speaking on the series, as I mentioned before, there's 4 books in the series so far. Are there more
Hmm.
coming out?
All right. So is that like a spoiler? I don't want to spoil you nothing. I don't know. Because I'm willing to tell what I got planned as far as Book of Dreams. To me,
Yeah.
honestly, is 7 volumes, and
Okay.
then it's 12 issues per volume.
Nice.
Each volume represents a different trial. I don't know if everybody noticed in the second. So you said you didn't get to the second issue yet, but in the second issue, when you open the book, it begins to explain the stone in his hand. Well, we call it
Okay.
dream rocks, but
Right.
stone is more easier to refer to. So,
Okay.
but it's a dream rock in his hand, and then it tells you how many dream rocks they are. The dream rocks represent the chakra stones.
Mm,
I don't know how familiar anybody is with the chakras. I'm pretty sure a lot of
right.
people is familiar with them. But yeah, the chakras. The reason why I went with the chakras, a friend of mine back about 5 years ago was informing me a lot about chakras, and
Hmm.
it happened to fall into my story.
That's nice.
So that's why that happened. But it's definitely going to be seven volumes that represent the 7 stones. The stones are different trials. Malachi will go through different trials
Hmm.
of his life, and they kind of help him become this god that he supposedly is.
Mm.
I'm trying not to give too much details out, so I'm trying to say the right words
Oh, I
to
appreciate
not
that.
get too much. But I know in
Yeah.
the beginning of it, it do say something about
Yeah.
childhood of a god or something. So
Right.
that's all I'm trying
Okay.
to, because I'm a blabbermouth. If you, I have to been I told you the whole story about that. Like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen next, but it's definitely it's a lot more to come.
Nice. I love that.
So, and even if y'all don't like it, I don't care. I'm gonna still put it out.
As you
I'm
should.
still gonna complete my project.
If they
I
don't
told
like it, I'm gonna like
also,
it.
you feel me? I told also, even if I leave this earth before you finish the project, I don't care. You got all the scripts. He got all the
Oh
scripts.
wow.
He got access to all of it because I
Nice.
want this to really go, and I want to do it with him.
Hmm.
I don't know if y'all pay attention, but he's the only artist that's been able to touch this series.
Right.
I don't believe in switching up the artist, so
Me either. Yeah.
hopefully we keep the bond good enough and we keep it going.
I like that. That's nice. So,
Hmm.
other than the Book of Dreams, do you have any other projects or any other books that you're working on?
That's, I got a lot. I'll be honest with you. I ain't trying to brag, but I got a lot too much. All right, so you got the Book of Dreams. I'm gonna name the ones that's out there. I don't know if you guys know about my friend Steve. Like I know I was mentioning it earlier. Where I don't know where comic book started for me was with a guy named Steve.
Okay.
I mean, I had wrote Book of Dreams back in the day just to test my writing skills out, but I didn't pursue comics until I met Steve.
Okay.
I was on the artist page. I seen his character. He had drew for him. He told me to reach out to this guy. He's having trouble with his comic. I was like, "Can I write your comic book? I don't charge or nothing. I just want to see what my skills is at. If you like it, pursue with it, like go with
That's
it.
nice.
It took me 2 days to write this comic,
Wow.
and I turned it into him, and he was like, "I like it." This is the comic right here. It's called Micro. This is what it used to look like.
Okay.
This is what this one looks like now. It's now two separate two comic books.
That is
So
nice.
this was the beginning. I don't claim that title because that's not my work, but that's where I started with my
Hmm.
comic journey. But for me, as far as me, is Book of Dreams, Freaks Calling at Night. Freaks Calling at Night was the first comic book I put out by myself.
Okay.
It's 2 issues to that right now. I got Project Cat.
Oh yeah.
Project Cat is three different storylines in one. It's Project Cat, the origin, Project Cat, the rebirth, and then it's
Okay.
Project Cat, Princess Soraya.
Mm.
So we got Rat Pack coming,
Okay.
Wolf Pack coming, um, the Book of Sins is coming, the Book of Gabriel is coming. Uh, that's why I said I can keep going.
Busy
It's just
man.
that some things I just don't be putting out there. I just be
Yeah.
trying to keep it because they be telling me like, "Oh, you spoiling it. You gonna ruin it. Like it's not gonna be a surprise when it finally come out." It's so much that I get in trouble for. So I try to. That's why I said issue 5. I'm not leaking nothing because that's what we working on right now. I'm not leaking
Bad.
nothing. I gave y'all that one panel and that's it.
Bad. Okay.
But it's besides the comics, we got the card game that I'm working on. I don't know if you've
Nice.
seen the video about the trading card game. I got a couple of I'm about to say a couple of them right here, but I'm about to say it's like a
Oh,
few
okay.
little cards.
That's nice.
They come with the back. Trying to do something like you know how the little battle games that
Right.
like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and all of that.
I like that.
So I got that. Um, I'm trying to get into the toy industry big time.
That's a good one.
I love
That's a good one.
toys. I love toys, man. So I want like you see the pops.
Right.
That's
I was
Dream
looking at
Boy
that.
right there. I was like, that's Dream Boy right there. So I'm trying to get in that industry, man. That toy industry. Um, but that's about it as far as I mean the comics. It's a couple of more titles, but I ain't gonna name all of them. I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, save some for later.
So yeah, save some of it for later. I'm about to say just check the Instagram or the
Right.
website. Either way, you can find out which ones is coming.
Bad. So on that note, how can people find more about either you or Apartment Six Comics? Tell us your website, Instagram, all that.
I'm about to say the Instagram is APT underscore six underscore comics. The website is apt6comics.com, which is
Okay.
apartment6.com. I mean apartment6comics.com. All the updates is always either on my to be honest with you, the fastest way to find things is on my Instagram.
Yeah.
The next would be the website.
Okay.
Because when I wake up in the morning, I will post on the actual
Right.
Instagram before I get to the website to do it the correct way.
Gotcha.
So
That
that's
makes
the way
sense.
that people can find things.
That's true. Well, I'm going to put the links in the description below. So, if y'all
Appreciate
check
that.
it out, go buy the Book of Dreams. I highly recommend it. And I'm probably going to do a review of the first 4 issues sometime soon. So, y'all be on the lookout for that.
I
Uh,
hope so. Bad or good, I accept it all. As a creator, you should know that that's the most important thing to
yep,
us.
it is.
When you give a creator feedback, we know which direction to go.
Yep,
We can't, it's like it's not that we can't move forward. It's just that sometimes I'm gonna be honest, I don't like to move forward, not knowing how you
right.
feel
Same.
about what's going on. You get what I'm
Understandable.
saying? So feedback is important, bad and good.
I definitely agree with you on that. So y'all be on the
Mhm.
lookout for that. Go give Apartment Six Comics a follow on Instagram. Check out the website. Till next time, this has been the Divergent Comics YouTube channel. Uh, be on the lookout because I got another video coming out really soon with another creator that we got on here. Appreciate you coming on.
All right, thank you, man.